It's Jason Buchzer again from M.A.R.S, and we'll be discussing our 7-part blog series on the why, the who, the when, the what, and the how. Questions about the Amalgam Separator Regulation from the EPA. Since the EPA released their regulation on amalgam separators, the dental industry have had many questions regarding the regulation without many reliable sources to answer these concerns. M.A.R.S has found the lack of reliable sources has resulted in distortion of the interpretation of the EPA regulation. The absence of information means many dental professionals are trusting their dental practices compliance on less than trustworthy information. At M.A.R.S, we find this unacceptable. This is why we're always updating our information on the EPA regulation to provide the dental industry on the most accurate understanding of the EPA regulation and how to guarantee your compliance. Our next series of blogs are focused on the why, the who, when, what, and how of the EPA Amalgam Separator Regulation. Why dental practices require amalgam separators. This blog will be discussing why the EPA, or the US EPA, has required amalgam separators to be installed and maintained in American dental practices. We'll be considering studies completed by other countries who've already had amalgam separators and the differences they've made by reducing the mercury pollution. Who will be regulating and implementing dental amalgam separator regulation. The Who blog will be discussing who has a responsibility for creating, implementing, and regulating best management practices for dental practices. When are dental practices expected to comply? This blog is one of the most important questions on the mind of dental professionals, as there is a lot of misinformation circulating in the dental industry regarding when compliance is required. This blog will tie into the who portion of the blog, as depending on who created your BMPs will directly relate to when you will be required to install an amalgam separator. What are the expectations of dental practices? When considering expectations of best management practices for dental practices, you must look at the why and the who, as both of these are related to the expectations. This blog will help dental professionals navigate through the somewhat confusing expectations of the EPA regulation. And lastly, there's a 2-part section on how to guarantee compliance. Many dentists do not have the time to complete research on compliance items and rely on others to make the right choice for their dental practices. Unfortunately, making the wrong choice on amalgam separator could cost a dental practice money for costly maintenance, downtime due to equipment damage, and fines, or even possibly being shut down due to non-compliance. The last blog in this series is the most important one to read, as it acts as a quick guide for dental practices to guarantee their compliance. Please stay tuned to our next blog. We'll be discussing why dental practices are required to have amalgam separators. Thank you very much, and looking forward to having you follow our 7-series blog.